Hello guys, long time no see. It's been a while since I uploaded a video on my MTG content channel. It has been a busy year and it was the start of this channel. I did it to pass the time in the lockdown, but I gained a few subscribers in this period, so I wanted to do another video, a last video for 2020, and maybe to start my channel again with a good upload schedule in 2021. So before we jump into this video, I hope you all had some good holidays, even though times were different, but I hope you still enjoyed it. And today, let's look at the subject for today's video. So I think we all can agree that this year was a bit strange, and also for us Magic players. Local game stores were closed, we couldn't play Commander anymore in real life, we played our first games online, which didn't run too smooth for me. But I think I can speak for every MTG player that our creative deck brewer minds didn't stood still this year. We had a great Commander year, 4 new precons, Commander Legends, was released, that new rule changes that brought new things to the table. In this video I wanted to give you guys a quick overview of the commanders that I built this year and that I played. Some of them are strong, some of them are less strong, but they're all fun decks, and I wanted to give you a quick view on how they work and what a strategy really is, and maybe that you are interested in building one of these. So maybe you guys remember this one. This is Kathril, Aspect Warper. It was actually the first video I ever did on this channel, was a deck on him. When he was released, I lost my mind and I immediately started brewing with him. So I built the deck, I bought the deck, I played the deck, and it's a really fun deck and experience. It's very something new, a new way to approach Voltron. And I'm going to give you a quick overview of the cards that I use in the decks and what a strategy really is all about and how you can achieve a big fat buck. So in Kathril you're gonna play a lot of creatures with keywords, but you have to put those creatures in the grave in order to work with Kathril. A good way to do this is via discard outlets like Lotlel Troll and Noose Constrictor, because these cards are worthless in your hand, but you can discard them to these cards and put them into your grave. Again, a fun little thing to notice is that when you cast Kathril, you can discard in response to the cast, so nobody can see how big he's gonna be and how big of a threat you're gonna put on the board. Another way to get these cards into the graveyard is via Corpse Jump and Mulch, and this kind of cards just sorcery is an instance that mill you for 5 and get your land to your hand. So it's not really lamp, it's mana fixing, but you also can have your big splashy creatures into the grave, and it's a very efficient way to get those in the grave before Kathril comes out. So you want to play these early cards on turn 2 and 3 and hopefully get a good Kathril at turn 5, maybe 4 if you're lucky, but you gotta aim at 5. Alright, so the game plan is to, on the early turns, you gotta play those spells and discard big fatty creatures or dump these creatures into your graveyard. So you fill up your grave, then at turn 4 or 5 you play Kathril, you will get many +1/+1 counters and many ability counters, and then you just start swinging, and kill everybody on the board with commander damage. Hopefully as double strike that the game ends and nobody's happy except for you, but that's the aiming commander. Friends are just opponents you haven't eliminated yet. And to top it all off, you don't want to stop your gameplay when Kathril stays on the board. No, then you want to reanimate those big kind of creatures from your graveyard onto the battlefield with big reanimator spells that Epson has to offer. You're just gonna make a new episode of The Walking Dead with this deck, and it's very fun, very reliable, and very strong. A few reasons for you to pick up a Kathril deck or make one yourself. It's a new kind of Voltron. It's pretty cool. It's never done before with the ability count. It's a pretty cool way to make one creature big. It stays Epson Reanimation, which is pretty strong, so you have the ability to have the best reanimation spells in the best colors and to quickly reanimate big cool things. When Kathril stays on the board, it's a board sticker. It has, for example, if he has Hexproof and Indestructible, it only can be bounced back to your hand with a global bounce, like Cyclonic Rift, not even a targeted bounce. And the important part, it's dope art. It's a cool insect, it's a cool bug. Look at the art, it's very nice. Although, I've noticed in games, you won't see the art probably because the card will be filled with ability counters. So that's a bit of a shame, but still worth it though. But as we all know, life is in the pony camp, so I'm gonna tell you about the problems that I had with the deck while playing in it and what his counter is. So it stays Voltron. It's weak against Sacrifice and against Destroy and counter heavy magic. I think Voltron levels can max out at maybe a level 6, 7, maybe a 7.5, but it won't be higher than that. So yeah, it's weak against counter. And you need to have hexproof. Hexproof is so important with this deck. You need to play Kathril with the ability hexproof because it will be such a target on the table. Everybody will notice it, especially when he's like a freaking 9/9 double striker that can one-shot players in one hit. So you really need to have hexproof. Even when you cast him, you need protection from counters, so you can play silence or cards like that to give him protection, because you have to know when you play Kathril there is a little phase that players can respond on him before he's getting the counter, so you have to watch out for that. If you're interested in making a Kathril deck, you should watch my Kathril deck tech upgrade guide. It's my first video on my channel. Actually the best video I ever did on this channel. It reached like 1,200 views. So I'm pretty proud of it. It's a cool deck tech and I really recommend you should watch it if you're interested. Alright, let's jump into the second deck and maybe the strongest deck that I made this year. It's Korvold, Faker's King. I think you're all familiar with this dragon. It's a value machine. So while reading flying, when Korvold enters the battlefield or attacks, you have to sacrifice another permanent, and whenever you sacrifice a permanent, put a +1/+1 counter on Korvold and you draw a card. This thing is immensely powerful and it brings such a value along with him. I'm gonna show you some of the cards that I play in him and how I play him. And yeah, enjoy. So in Korvold you need sacrifice fodder. We're doing this by playing cards that make tokens. So you play token generators like Awakening Zone, Aphiomancer, Deep Force Hermes is also in the deck. So you assembling your ammunition to sack, really. So you make all these little things, you're just gonna sacrifice them. So I run sack outlets like Ashnod's Altar and Golem Bombardment, so 3 sack outlets that sack the sack fodder and others draw cards and make Korvold bigger. And there is a bit of an aristocrats theme in the deck, so we ping our opponents to our sack and like drain them out and finish them off probably with Korvold to deal the last blow. So the game plan is pretty simple, you just sack all your fodder, gain a lot of value, make Korvold big, get card advantage on your opponents and just win the game on the spot. So the benefits of this deck, it's, as I said, a crazy amount of value, insane card draw, especially for Enchant, pretty good. Command and damage is a possibility to win, Korvold gets really big and you can swing one-shot opponents. And the last one, but a really good one, you don't have to wait a turn cycle to do something. Korvold is a commander, he hits the field and he straight sacks something, so you get straight value. You can still straight sack all your fodder to the tokens and you get immediately value. You don't have to wait a turn cycle for possible removal. You can do it instant when he hits the field. The third deck I made is Torbran, Thane of Redfell. So I saw this card getting spoiled in Throne of Eldraine and I was just amazed by it. It was pretty cool to think that all the red damage is +2. It doesn't seem like very much, but I can guarantee you it is much. And games go faster with this deck. It's pretty fun. And it's really under the radar, but it's pretty strong also. So let's take a look at the cards that I run in this deck. So I build a deck with a lot of pingers, a lot of Tims. So pingers that normally ping for 1 damage, but can now ping for 3, which can target creatures, players. And they can easily kill commanders. It's pretty cool to actually know how many commanders are only a 3 toughness creature. And also like cards like Chandra flips immediately into a planeswalker form, which is pretty much value. So yeah, it's a pretty cool way to build them. I recommend you build them with pingers. It's also got a bit of a Staxy theme in there, so I run cards like Mana Bombs to punish your opponents for tapping the mana and punish your opponents to activate creatures. Pretty cool combo stopper if you play against combo decks with Harsh Mentor. Cephalic Forbs to get that consistently the damage in. And after a while it begins really to do a lot of stuff because it's a lot of damage after a while, so pretty worth to run those cards. So also with this plan, the game plan is to ping your opponents just with a little bit of damage, play Torbran and get a lot of damage done. Players won't expect how many damage 3 damages and how many the +2 factor is, so it's pretty cool to catch them off guard and a pretty nice damage based deck. The advantages of the deck are Torbran stays under the radar until it's too late for your opponents to react, so it doesn't seem like a big of a threat, but it still does the damage, and often when it's too late, only the players notice. So it does a lot of damage, as I already said. Games go faster. If you want a quick game of Commander, it's pretty nice to pop this deck out, and it's a pretty sweet, thing. Then the kills many value. As I said also, yeah, like many commanders have a 3 toughness. So when you play your pinger, preferably with haste, and you can straight ping them, and they won't be able to recast their commander because your pingers lie there to, well, destroy their value and destroy their game plan. So, the weaknesses of this deck. So, it's a mono red deck, so the Curse of Red, little to non-card draw. The ramp is okay, I guess. I of course use Artifacts ramp. I also use Extraplanar Lens to double my mana. And it's weak against aggro because your pingers are not the biggest creature and you don't want to block with them. You want to use them for the removal and for the damage part. So against fast Naya aggro decks, it's pretty weak. That's why I also put a maze of it into the deck, and the construct, I don't know what the name is anymore, the construct that only can let one. Then, I didn't make this deck, I got this deck from a friend. It's Atraxa Praetor's Voice, you all know her, one of the most popular commanders ever built, freaking strong. So it was a deck from the Secret Santa. It was a pretty fun experience. So let me tell you what the concept was. Maybe you can do this with your playgroup. It was freaking fun, it was pretty cool to do. So basically, we all made budget decks for each other, and of course it's a Secret Santa, so we didn't know which one had to give the deck to who and which one gonna get what deck. So nobody knew a thing about the commanders. There was one rule: the decks were below 50 euros, so they were budget decks, but also pretty strong decks. So I got the Atraxa one. My other playgroup, you can see the cards here. There was a Tatio. I made a Tatioa for a friend. Another friend got a Xyrus deck, and there was also Paka and Haldon, and I made this Fiend Seeker, so it was a pretty cool concept. We all got some new decks. There was also one rule we didn't could upgrade it. We couldn't could upgrade them, which was pretty sucky for me because I am not typical your budget player. I like to max out my decks. But yeah, it's the rule, and I can make a variant of Atraxa, but I don't have any money now, so yeah, you know the deal. Magic is very expensive, so yeah. But it was pretty cool, and we really liked it. We played online via Spellseeker, had some fun games. My deck was freaking strong. Tatiova was strong, I made it, so of course it was strong. No, I'm kidding. But it was a pretty fun experience, I can highly recommend this. So yeah, that was it for my last video of 2020. I know for my few subscribers, my 30 subscribers out there, that I didn't made a lot of videos this year. This was kind of an experiment, but I really liked it. So I'm gonna try to make a lot more in 2021. Hopefully get more subscribers and maybe go to the 100. Who knows? It would be pretty cool. But it's fun to edit these kind of videos and to make deck decks and stuff, and especially when new Commander products come out. So yeah, I hope you liked it. Maybe when you're inspired to make a deck yourself, just put it in the comments and I will do a deck review of the deck. I will send you also the link to the Architect deck lists. So guys, if you like this content and you want more, just subscribe to my channel. Leave a comment below what you want to see next. I get a lot of inspiration from the guys that comment on my videos. I got a couple of deck decks, got a lot of interesting topics on EDH. You should definitely check them out. And I hope you have a great night, great day, great morning. I don't know where you live. But yeah, thanks for watching. If you made it to the end of the videos. You can also go to my Patreon. Psych, I don't have a Patreon. So peace.